We are counting down the 5 most ruthless gangs ever to control South Central Los Angeles. From infamous territorial powerhouses to criminal networks that rewrote the rules of street warfare, each group on this list earned its place through sheer scale, deadly violence, and landmark federal crackdowns. Which organisation stands at the top and why? Let us begin with number 5. In 5th place, Florencia 13 stands as one of South Central's oldest and most entrenched Latino gangs. Formed in the late 1960s in the Florence Firestone area, Florencia 13 built its reputation on a rigid hierarchy shaped by deep ties to the California prison system and the Mexican mafia. This structure set it apart from looser street cliques, with veteran shot callers taking orders from incarcerated leaders. Over the decades, Florencia 13 grew to thousands of members, controlling territory through organised drug trafficking and violent enforcement. In 2019, federal prosecutors launched Operation Joker's Wild, indicting over 100 alleged members on racketeering, firearms and narcotics charges. That sweeping case exposed Florencia 13's enduring command structure and confirmed its status as a flagship Sereno network, but limited expansion beyond Los Angeles keeps it at the start of this countdown. Number 4, the Black Pea Stones transformed Baldwin Village, known locally as the Jungles, into a stronghold of territorial power in South Central Los Angeles. Founded in the late 1960s by Chicago transplant T. Rogers, the group took root in the maze-like apartment complexes of Baldwin Village, where dense housing and isolated courtyards gave cover for street-level organisation. Their presence became national news during the 1992 Los Angeles unrest, when media attention zeroed in on the Jungles as a flashpoint for violence and community upheaval. In the aftermath, repeated waves of LAPD and federal enforcement swept through the area, targeting Stone's leadership and street operations. Despite these crackdowns, the gang's grip on Baldwin Village endured, marked by persistent drug trafficking and coordinated assaults. For many residents, the 1992 riots signalled not just a moment of national crisis, but the beginning of a new era of law enforcement scrutiny and neighbourhood displacement. Number 3. The Hoover Criminals forged a distinct path in South Central by breaking away from the traditional Crip alliance in the late 1980s. What started as the Hoover Crips along the 52nd to 59th Street corridor shifted dramatically as sets began adopting the criminal label, a move shaped by prison politics and a desire for independence. This rebranding fractured the original network into multiple sets, each staking claim to blocks near Hoover Street and Figueroa. The identity shift was not just symbolic, it fueled new rivalries and complicated law enforcement efforts to track and suppress gang activity. By the 2000s, LAPD operations like Operation Clean Sweep specifically targeted Hoover sets, leading to a series of weapons seizures and narcotics arrests. The multi-set structure and persistent feuds kept the Hoovers at the centre of South LA's gang landscape, with their evolving identity making them one of the most unpredictable and challenging groups for authorities to contain. Number 2, the Eight Tray Gangster Crips ignited one of Los Angeles' longest and bloodiest street wars. The conflict began on March 8, 1979, when the killing of Tyrone Hardiman, brother of a Rollin 60s leader, by a 9-0 gangster Crip associated with Eight Tray shattered former alliances. Demands for justice went unanswered, setting off a chain reaction of retaliatory shootings that divided South Central along invisible lines. The feud quickly escalated, with drive-bys and tit-for-tat murders becoming routine. During the crack epidemic of the mid-1980s, violence surged as drug profits fueled an arms race and street-level warfare. Homicide rates spiked, and by the late 1980s, the bloodshed even reached westward, leaving bystanders caught in the crossfire. Court records from the era document multiple homicide convictions linked to 8 Tray members, underscoring the scale of devastation. For decades, this rivalry forced entire neighbourhoods to pick sides, embedding fear and loss deep into the fabric of the city. And finally, in first place, the Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips stand as the most formidable force to ever emerge from South Central Los Angeles. Founded in the late 1970s around the Crenshaw and Slauson corridor, this group quickly grew from a local clique into a sprawling network that, according to LAPD reports, has counted between 6,000 and 8,000 members over the decades, by far the largest black street gang in the county. Their territory stretches across Hyde Park and Crenshaw, encompassing dozens of blocks and influencing youth from schools like Crenshaw and Westchester High. Law enforcement's response has been just as sweeping. A series of civil injunctions from 2005 to 2011 aimed to disrupt the group's grip on the neighborhood, restricting movement and association for hundreds of alleged members. But the Rollin 60s proved resilient, adapting to these crackdowns and expanding operations far beyond Los Angeles. By the early 2000s, documented cases show members transplanting the gang's culture and drug trade to cities like Atlanta, throughout Texas, and deep into the Midwest. This interstate reach, combined with a history of retaliatory shootings, drug trafficking, and high-profile violence, marks the Rollin 60s as not just a local menace, but a national criminal enterprise whose influence endures despite decades of law enforcement pressure. Across all five, one pattern stands out. Ruthless gangs evolve and expand, shaping whole communities far beyond South Central. Their influence isn't shrinking, it is adapting. The cycle still isn't broken,